Salom aziz o'quvchilar, speakingga bag'ishlangan videolarimiz davom etadi va bugungi darsimizda yana bir qiziq mavzu haqida gaplashamiz. Ielts Speaking Assistant'dan biz part 2 savollarini ko'rishni boshlagan edik va bugungi mavzuyimiz 28-mavzu bo'lishi kerak. 26-27-mavzularni o'tdik va bugun 28-mavzuga e'tibor beramiz. Demak, mavzuyimiz describe a quiet place that you like to go degan mavzu, ya'ni o'sha sokin joy haqida gapiring, tinch joy haqida gapiring, shu joyga borishni yaxshi ko'rasiz. Va what the place it is, ya'ni qanaqa joy, how often you go there, qanchalik tez borib turasiz, and what you do there and why you like this place degan savollarga demak javob berishimiz kerak. 2 daqiqa davomida gapirishim kerak ushbu holatda. Endi bitta katta bir tip sizga speaking tanlayotganda mana shunaqa bir savollar tushadiki, siz bu ishlarni qilmagansiz yoki bilmaysiz yoki gapirishga bir qandaydir mavzuyingiz yo'q. Misol uchun mana shu mavzuni olib qarasak, juda ham ko'p odamlarda bunaqa quiet place yo'q. Ya'ni shu hamma joyi hozir noisy bo'lib ketgan. Odamlar bor, shunaqa. Endi shu holatdan qanday chiqish kerak? Yani bu holatdan chiqish uchun o'zingiz bir narsa o'ylab topishingiz mumkin. Ya'ni bu yerda siz to'g'ri yoki noto'g'ri gapirayotganingiz unchalik muhim emas, shunchaki o'sha til ko'nikmalaringizni ko'rsatib beryapsiz. Shuning uchun bu yerda o'ylab topilgan joy haqida ham gapirishingiz mumkin. Va bu narsa unchalik katta muammo emas. Shunchaki bor narsani, misol uchun endi o'ylab topish, qanaqa o'ylab topish, bu shunchaki noldan o'ylab topishingiz ham mumkin, to'g'ri. Lekin misol uchun qandaydir bir joy borki, ana shu joyga siz bormaysiz, lekin o'sha quiet joyligini bilasiz. Mana shu joyga boraman deb tasavvur qilib gapirib berishingiz mumkin. Misol uchun men mana shu holatni aynan o'zimni qo'llayman. Ya'ni hozir mana bitta uyimizning oldida bog' bor, juda ham tinch joy, lekin men odatda u yerga bormayman. Sababi u yerda qiladigan ishim yo'q. Shuning uchun lekin o'sha yerga boraman deb, endi kichkinaligimda borganman 1-2 marta. Shuni boraman deb tasavvur qilib gapirib beraman. Aytmoqchimanki, bu bilan vaziyatdan chiqish uchun albatta bir narsa o'ylab topsa bo'ladi. It's okay. Xo'p, demak, mana shunaqa introduction bilan boshlaymiz. Endi hozir men 2 daqiqa gapirib beraman, xudo xohlasa shu mavzuda va keyin part 3 savollarni ko'rib chiqamiz. So I want to talk about a very peaceful, quiet place located in the countryside. And it's an orchard. It covers a huge area. There are many different kinds of trees there. And the great thing about this place is that its location is located quite far away from the main road and from the residential area. And it's a very peaceful place. You don't hear cars around, you don't hear people. You can only hear the birds chirping, which is quite soothing and something that you want to listen to every day. Now, it's a great place to go in the springtime, because spring is a time when trees blossom and you can have this splendid view of different kinds of trees blossoming, and you can also breathe this aroma of trees, of the flowers of the trees coming from the flowers of the trees blossoming. And I try to go there as often as I can, but because of my busy schedule, I don't always manage to go there. But at least, a few times a year, especially in the springtime, I go there. And whenever I go there, I sit under the tree, I take myself a blanket with myself, and I sit under the tree and I talk to myself, I reflect on my own inner thoughts, and it's a great time to get away from people, just to talk to yourself, and because often we are influenced by external factors, by other people's opinion, and you want to have this time when you want to just be by yourself. You don't want people around, and this is a time when you should go to these kind of places. And as I'm like kind of an introvert person, I like talking to myself, and I like going to this quiet place and talk to myself. I often talk to myself about my past, my present, and my future. And it's also a great place to come up with some ingenious ideas as well, because you can talk, you can really feel relaxed and relieved. And this is a time when you can think about your big problems and come up with solutions, because most of the time, as I said, we're influenced by other people's opinion, and it's difficult to come up with your own decision, with your own solution. So it's a great place to be whenever you want to come up with a solution to the problem. Okay, demak, ozgina ko'payib ketib qoldi, menimcha 2 minutdan, lekin I managed quite well to answer these questions. Now it's time for questions for part 3, I think. I have to take my phone. Okay, demak, hurmatli o'quvchilar, endi part 3 savollariga ham javob berib o'tib ketamiz. Birinchi savolimiz: Is it hard to find quiet places in cities? I think it's something that is next to impossible. I think it's almost impossible to find a quiet place in the city because it seems like every corner of the city is occupied and there are people and there's always construction going on and there's always the noise of cars coming from the road. So I think it's impossible to find a quiet place. But of course you can go to parks, but then I wouldn't say they are absolutely quiet because you can find some people going around and chatting and so probably you cannot find like 100% quiet place. Now, are there many quiet places in your city? Now, as I mentioned above, my city is not a very quiet place and it's very crowded. It's actually one of the most densely populated areas in Uzbekistan. So there are lots of people and lots of cars as well. So it's very difficult to find a quiet place. And why do sometimes people prefer to be alone? Why do people sometimes prefer? Now, the reason why people want to stay alone is perhaps they want to talk to yourself. They want to reflect on their own life, and they don't want to other people intervene in their thoughts. That's probably the reason why people want to stay alone. Now, why do people go to quiet places? Xuddi shu savol, tepadagi savoldan bir xil, shuning uchun buni o'tkazib yuboramiz. Is there much noise around your home? Well, I live quite close to the city center, and it's very, we have lots of apartments around my house. I myself live in an apartment, so you can expect many people living in a very, small area. So it's a quite busy place. We also have kids playing outside, so I would say it's a very crowded and noisy place. Now, next question: does this noise affect you in any way? Well, when we first moved to the city, we found it quite noisy, and we found it really difficult to adapt because when we lived in the countryside, it was really peaceful. But once we moved in city, we had noise coming from the street, from the cars, from the people, and we found it difficult to adapt to. But after some time, we got used to it, and I mean, I don't find it difficult to work or to feel comfortable in the noise environment now. How do you think noises in cities could be reduced? Yani qanday qilib noiselarni kamaytirish mumkin? There are, of course, many ways to reduce noise in the cities, and one of the best ways, I think, is to actually plant trees. Now, planting trees would serve many purposes. It would not only block the noise coming from for example, if you plant the trees alongside the road, it's not only going to block the noise coming from the cars, but it also make the place very shady place. And also it's going to have add some nature into the city, making it even more beautiful, and also clean the air, reducing air pollution. So it would serve many other purposes as well. So I think the best way to reduce noise in the cities is to plant a lot of trees. Now, why do some people like to listen to music while they're working? Now, the reason why people like listening to music while they're working is because the job might be a really boring job, and when you listen to music, you overcome this boredom. And also the other reason why people listen to music is because it puts them in harmony. So if they listen to fast-paced music, they might be more energetic. If they listen to like laid-back music, they might feel more relaxed. So it would affect their mood and the way they do things. Is there any place that is absolutely quiet? Well, I think there must be places in the world with absolutely quiet, but you have to go very, very far into the wilderness, I think. So maybe you can go to Antarctic or Arctic continents to find this place, or tundra in Siberia, but you have to go to really, really far away to get away from the noise coming from people, cars, construction. So it's going to be really difficult to find this place. But I think there should be some places where it's absolutely quiet. Why is it difficult to stay in quiet place? Now, many people might find difficult to stay in quiet places because when you are alone and in a quiet place, all kinds of bad thoughts start creeping into your mind, and you start thinking about bad things. And it's easy to overcome this kind of situations when there is someone around you. You can talk to them, you can talk about the thoughts that you have, and they can actually help you, support you in these situations. But if you're alone, there would be no one to support you, so you might find it difficult to overcome this kind of thoughts. Okay, that's it. Demak, mana part 2, part 3 savollarga ham javob berib o'tdik. Agar sizga video ma'qul bo'lgan bo'lsa, albatta boshqalar bilan share qilishni unutmang. Thank you for watching and see you soon in the next lesson. Take care.